about to launch. Welcome to Marathon Money. This is Kenny Coins, where we run the race for financial freedom, and personal growth and life-changing journeys from innovative businesses to mindset shift and everything that makes life a marathon. Where we here to explore and all. Guys, I'm here with Jason Williamson. Um, he's the CEO of Circle of Friend Club. I reached out to him on LinkedIn. I really like what he's doing. I did some research. So, Jason, just give me a little bit about yourself. Let the listeners know, let the viewers know, like how basically how you got started. What was this path like?
Oh, brother. Well, first of all, man, thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you for reaching out to me on LinkedIn. This is a great opportunity. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and so I graduated from Morehouse College. And after that, I knew I wanted to go into business for myself. I wasn't exactly sure what that was, but I was really, really passionate about the fitness industry. So I got certified as a personal trainer and worked in the fitness field for 10 years as a personal trainer, as personal training department head, manager at several different health club chains. And so I did that for 10 years. And I knew in 2000 that I wanted to leave the country and go to someplace in Latin America to have a completely different experience and learn Spanish. So I ended up meeting my ex-wife about 4 months later in Atlanta. She was actually from Bogota, Colombia. And so we had a long distance relationship and decided to get married. And so I came on down here to Colombia in 2003, and I've been here ever since. I mean, it's been awesome. I love this country. And but in 2003, though, not everything was positive about Colombia in the media and TV shows and movies. It was all negative: bombings, kidnappings, drugs, everything that you see on movies right now. That's everything that was in the media back then. But my wife was like, Jason, don't worry about what you see in the media. Come on down, see what it's like for yourself. And you can make the decision from there whether you want to stay or go back to the States. Said, okay. So I got here and found out that it was nothing like what I saw in the media and on the internet. I mean, it was nothing like that. So that's the advice that I tell people, make the decision for yourself, go out of the country, check it out for yourself and see what it's like. You may find that you love it, which has been my case. I've been here 20 years. And so I started out teaching English as a second language to executives at several different companies. I knew that was going to be the thing that I would start with. English was always my best subject. So, it just so happened that when I got off the plane here in Colombia, everybody in my wife's family was like, okay, teach me English. So that's how I got started. And God gave me the faith to pick up the yellow pages one day and start going through there searching for companies that may need my services. And so I got a contract with two different companies. This is, I had no resources, no money, no nothing to start this business. I mean, it was just me picking up the yellow pages and making calls to companies, just like what I did at LA Fitness, Gold's Gym, and all of these other fitness chains that I work for in the States. Same exact thing. So I started working out at these companies as an English teacher, and we got on the subject of supernatural experiences in class, and me talking to them about their husband, boyfriend, wife, girlfriend in class. So around 2006, the movie Hitch was out with Will Smith. And in that movie, there was a speed dating scene. And one of my students was like, Jason, you need to do something to help people out more in the area of relationships. I said, you know what? Awesome idea. And I said, speed dating would be a great thing here in Colombia. So I started a speed dating company with my current wife in 2010. We did that to 2015. And we had more than 200 couples that got married. And so I wanted to expand that business to the States and other countries, but with the name of it, it was impossible. I couldn't do that. So around 2011, my mom was actually suffering from bipolar depression. And this was something that she had dealt with for more than 10 years. And she had this boyfriend at the time that was actually a warlock. This brother was practicing black magic on my mom. So he would do stuff like take her to the ATM, withdraw all her money, spend it on whatever he wanted. And so her rent wasn't being paid, car note, and all her bills were just stacking up. So I picked up the phone and called her one day, and I hadn't talked to her for like a month and a half. And that was really, really unusual because we had a close relationship. And so I called her, and she was like, "Jason, I'm not doing well at all." And she couldn't really go into detail because this dude was there like in the background listening to our conversation. So I hung up the phone and I was like, "Okay, Lord, show me what's happening in a dream." You ever had a lucid dream?
No, I have had a lucid dream before.
No?
Yeah. No, I have.
Oh, you have. Okay.
Yeah, I have.
So yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
So in the dream, I see myself in this actually at the top of this building, and it was at a city. I couldn't really tell what city this was, but I was at the top of this building, and like off in the distance, I see this huge bus, which was completely out of place, and it was like teetering on the edge, and there were people inside, and the bus started to fill up with this turquoise blue water, like you see it at water rides and SeaWorld and places like that. And so the bus falls off the top of the building and hits the ground. So I go to the street level. I see the bus. I open up the door to the bus, and all of this turquoise blue water gushes out. And everybody inside the bus was dead. And my mom is there at the back. So I pull her out of the bus, and then I wake up. And then I was like, Lord, I don't know what's going on in Atlanta, but I need to go home like right now and see what's happening. And so I get to the airport like a week later, and the first red flag was the boyfriend picks me up in my mom's car at the airport. And I said, no, this isn't right. So I get to her house, and bro, from here all the way around to here, all her hair has fallen out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, from all the stress that she's dealing with this dude. And so, you ever hear or seen the show Snapped?
No, I haven't seen it. No,
Okay,
I haven't seen it.
so this particular show was about okay, so this particular show was about cheating spouses, and the husband and the wife found out that they were cheating, and they devised this elaborate plan on how to kill them. And so we watched an episode of this show. And my mom at the end, she was like, Jason, do you see this cup on my nightstand? And I said, yeah. And she said, do you know what's in it? I said, no, it's been sitting here for like 2, 3 weeks. And she said, well, take the lid off and take a look inside. And so I'm looking at the inside of this cup, and I'm like, Mom, what is this? And she said, Jason, if you had not gotten on the flight when you did and gotten here to Atlanta, I would be dead right now from drinking this. This is antifreeze with Coke. And so she got this idea from an episode of Snapped. This woman found out her husband was cheating, and she gave him this concoction to drink.
That's
He
crazy.
drank it, not even 24 hours. Yeah, not even 24 hours later, he was dead.
That's
And
crazy.
so she had the plan to kill herself drinking this stuff. You know what the color of it was?
What was the color?
Turquoise blue.
Where's blue?
Yeah, the same color that was inside of the bus in my dream. So from that experience, I said, there's something to this spiritual dream stuff. Let me do some research. So I found out that there was this pastor that did dream interpretation, spiritual dream interpretation. His name was John Paul Jackson. So I studied him, studied all of his seminars that he has on YouTube, and I became a spiritual dream coach from there.
Wow, man, that's a lot of from gyms to moving to Colombia
Yeah,
to dating, speed dating, man. But like each of them was like your own business.
Yeah.
And how did you, like, after you figure out this is what you was gonna do, like how did you get the money? Did you start directly from scratch? Did you just start? How did you advertise yourself? How did you learn? Because every seemed like every industry or everything business that you got into was completely different.
Yeah. Completely different. But every step of the way, um, you know, you might look at a business and starting it and have the thought, well, okay, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources, I don't have the connections to do this. But the thing about God, if you believe in God and you start a business, you may not have either of those things either. But what He will do though is give you an idea, a concept, or some action to take. And if you have the faith to follow through on those ideas, those concepts, or actions, it will lead you into everything else that you need. And so, everything that I've started, I've always had that experience. I didn't have the money, but I had an idea. I talked to people about those ideas and I moved on it. And so, I had the money through contacts, resources, and everything else that I needed. It's always been like that.
So, what would you say like your passion and purpose is? You've done so many different things. What would you say your passion and purpose is?
So it's always, another thing about God is that, some people's name, you have your purpose in your name. So Jason in Greek means healer. So I know that it's my purpose to bring healing to people. That's everything that I've done, through everything that I've accomplished throughout my career has been connected to some kind of healing in some way. So in the fitness industry, as a personal trainer, I was helping people with their physical health. Now it's mental health. And I didn't know that piece about Circle of Friends Club, my current company, until the pandemic. And I said, with my mom's experience with bipolar depression and everything else that, I watched her go through, I can't continue my professional career unless I help people with mental health. So, Circle of Friends Club is a compassionate support for people dealing with PTSD, depression, anxiety, and uh, suicidal ideation. So, every month we have an online seminar called Freedom Fight Expo. And this particular month of September, on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, that event is for PTSD and suicide prevention.
Mental health is the biggest thing now. It's the one of the struggles for almost, I don't say almost everything from work, school,
Yeah,
financials, um, living. Like everything is based around your mental health. Everybody struggles with it relationship wise.
yep,
Um, I think a lot of people in this day and age, I can't tell you if this day and age is more of a struggle mentally than it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
yeah,
It seems like it because there's a lot more things going on. There's a lot more pressure, a lot more responsibility,
right,
a lot more things being put on you as an individual. You you have to save money to retire. You feel like you have to start a business because you're not making enough money at work.
mm,
Um, you feel like you got to start a business because you're not have purpose or you're not being fulfilled. You're not in your right space. All that plays into your mental health. I mean, all
yeah.
plays into your psychology. Um, how do you feel like this space that you're in, this industry that you're in, is actually helping people, or is it really just more of a way to cope with society?
Well,
Because a lot of programs, a lot of businesses are not really helping people. It's just kind of more of just like a band-aid. Just keep
yeah,
paying, and then this is just a band-aid. It's not really helping people get better for the long run.
yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, and that's a great point about mental health because there's a lot of companies out there that offer help, right? But these people are paying that bill every 30 days, and there's no healing. So I found out that through doing these Freedom Fight Expo events, that it's tremendously healing in listening to people's stories and having the opportunity to speak about your own trauma that you've been dealing with since childhood and other situations like that. It's giving people um, the power, putting the power back in people's hands that yes, you can do something about this. It's not insurmountable, but the power comes through talking and first of all, you have to confide in somebody to tell your story, but it's telling your story to be free from those things. Um, so I think that's the most powerful thing that people can do. But it's not just a mental health issue; it's a spiritual issue as well. So I think that spirituality has been completely left out of the conversation when it comes to mental health. So that's what I want to do with all the events and everything that I do is include spirituality in that conversation.
And I think spirituality is kind of go hand in hand with almost everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
everything.
definitely when you're an entrepreneur, because when you go into a business or you work for somebody, you can tell the spirit of that business if it's good or bad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think when you work for somebody who's not initially have good spirits, I think people tend to have the most mental health problems, which is about a lot of the businesses in this world. Um, Majority of the U.S. is run by corporations. I
Yeah.
think that plays a cynical effect on the mental health of everybody. Um, all your decisions are made because of one or two things: social, friends, or
Right.
two, I need to make money and I got to figure out how to do it.
Hmm.
And that those two alone cause probably the both biggest mental health there is.
Yep.
Um, but how would you say to somebody who is what would you say to somebody who is, they're in your position and they want to make money, but they want to help people,
Uh-huh.
but you kind of live in a society where, you can't we're getting close to a society where you can't really take risks, you can't really take leaps, and that plays on the mental health. You know what I mean?
W-
So
Yeah.
so what would you say to those people?
Well, I think that, in order to accomplish anything in life, I think that especially when it comes to your purpose in life, fear is going to show up to check what your commitment is to achieving that dream. And then the other thing is that um, I believe that there's God exists, Jesus exists, there's angels, and then there's also demons. So um, the enemy will show up to try to stop you from accomplishing the purpose that God has for your life. And the only way that you can be connected to those things is through faith. So if you have the faith to take this step, to make that phone call, to contact the people that you need to contact, to maybe, I don't know, have a mentor, somebody that's already accomplished the thing that you want to go after. That's the only way to do that. And also surrounding yourself by positive thinking people. Without a supportive network community, it's really really hard to get your business started, to accomplish your goals. So that's the advice that I would give you. But faith is the thing that will connect you to what you want. It's not
Yeah,
fear. Fear is the
yeah.
opposite.
Fear is the opposite. Fear is
Yeah.
the opposite. As mental health becomes more prominent discussion in business, where do you see the future of well-being intersect with entrepreneurship? Do you think business leaders are starting to realize the value of prioritizing mental well-being for long-term success?
I can see that in the future. It's still kind of like a taboo subject. There's still a lot of people that are going through depression and anxiety on their job, and they're scared to talk to their boss or anybody else at their company about what's going on. I can see in the future that this will change, but right now, it's still a huge problem.
I think like they want to talk about it, but at the same time, they don't, because it's such a touchy feely subject.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of emotions involved, and that's, I mean, that's with anything, and people don't want to mix emotions with business. But the
Right.
truth is, it's mixed regardless.
Yeah.
Because like, just think it from this standpoint. When you have a financial setback, how that emotionally affect you.
Absolutely.
It affects you so much that marriages are ruined,
Yep.
friendships are ruined. I mean, jobs are lost. You don't talk to family because once you have a financial setback, you feel like you can't really move how you want to move. And
Right.
then how do you, and I think you probably felt that while running your business. It's like, I don't really have the capital to move like I want to move. And that starts to play on your mental and making you feel like I can't really move forward here without some money, without something.
Yeah.
And what do you tell people that's stuck in that rut?
Well, again, I think that if you're in any kind of adverse situation, isolating yourself and keeping everything in, I mean, it's just going to destroy you. Not only destroy you, but everybody else around you. So again, having a community, a supportive network, somebody that you can confide in about what's going on is vital to where you want to go. Um, thank God I got my wife. I can
Mhm.
talk to her about what's going on.
Yeah.
But not everybody has a wife. So if that's the case, okay, a friend, family member, somebody that um, you feel that you can divulge these things that are close to your heart.
Yeah. When I ask you,
Therapist, coach.
yeah, how is it like running uh, how is it like living out in Colombia from when you first got there?
Yeah.
And what is it like living now? And then how is it like running multiple businesses out of another country? I think that's probably something everybody want to hear. You're kind of living people's dreams. People, there's at least 5 out of 10 people who are dreaming right now. Man, I want to live in a different country. I want to start a business in a different country.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy life. I don't want to live in the U.S. You're kind of that epitome that you're kind of like that fulfilled purpose right now for a lot of people.
I'm on the way, right? I'm not there yet, but I'm on the way. Um, the thing I can tell you is when I first got here, you could count the number of Americans that were living here on one hand. I mean, there was not that many of us here. Now, though, I mean, it's a completely different story. If you go to Cartagena, if you go to Medellin, there's plenty of people from Europe, from Asia, from the United States living in Medellin or in Cartagena or other places. Bogota too. I live about 4.5 hours outside of Bogota, so I'm out like in the country. I don't have the traffic to deal with every day like in Bogota or in Medellin, so it's really really relaxed to me. I work from home, so it's really really easy to run my business from here. Um, I think that too, man. The dollar quadruples here. So if you're looking at retirement, if you're looking at being digital nomad, if you want to come down here or any other country in Latin America, it's really, really easy to do that on, 500 bucks a month, 1,000 bucks a month. You can live good down here. So, I mean, that's one of the pluses.
And like I said again, you live in what most people dream of. They never take the risk,
Yeah,
and that's also a mental hurdle. You
it
know what I
is.
mean? That's
It
also a
is.
mental hurdle. Is also like taking the leap. And you spoke about in the beginning, it's like the media, all that other stuff, people's opinions all play into effect and all affect on the psyche of the brain and the psyche of your mental. And no, man, I really admire for the journey that you took, the
Thanks a
businesses
lot.
that you start. I know it's not easy to start. It's not easy to start a business in the U.S. It's definitely not going to be easy to start a business in another country.
No.
And on top of that, learn a language. And it seemed like, would you say the businesses have you started, like, got significant traction. I know you did the gym thing. I know you did the speed dating thing. I know you did the media thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how you feel like your those businesses are you like, are you a guy who, I got to make seven figures, I got to make six figures, but are you or could you be, are you the type of person that's like, you know what, I only need like 50,000 to live here and I'm living phenomenally. You know what I mean? That's what I have my business for. And then the rest is really just to help people.
Well, I think to that point, the bigger the mission, the bigger the income, or
Yeah.
the financial success of the company.
Yeah.
My mission is to help people all over the world to be free of these mental health issues. So with a huge vision like that, a global vision, then you can expect the amount of return on that. But it's no problem at all if you want to start a business and your goal is to make, let's say, 60, $70,000 a year. Okay, you got your house, you got a car, you live in the neighborhood that you want to live in, you can pay for your children's school and all of that good stuff. If that's your goal, no problem with that. It just depends on what your mission and your purpose in life is.
Man, Jason, I really appreciate it. You coming on here. Um, but I've been to Colombia. I know when I come, I'm gonna have to look you up, see
Yeah,
what you're
no
doing,
doubt.
go out, maybe take a drive out to the country. Um, but it's really wonderful talking to you. You did really, over the years, you've done amazing things. You're probably what, one percenters of the top risk takers. You took a lot of
Yeah,
risks. You've done a lot of cool things. Very few people can say that they've done the stuff you did, and that's amazing in itself.
thanks a lot, bro.
Thanks.
I appreciate you.